What is up, guys? It is Carly here bringing you day number 3 of my 31 Days of Horror 2020, and today I'm going to be discussing a movie that is not Halloween themed, but it's coming up here, and that is Krampus. Obviously a Christmas horror movie. I believe, what is this, from 2015, I want to say, 15 or 16. I think it's 2015. I might be wrong. I'll have to double check on that one later. But yeah, so Krampus, this movie is essentially about this very dysfunctional family that gets together for Christmas time. You know, you have a mom and a dad and their 2 kids, and as well as their grandma living together. And then they have, I believe it's the mom's sister, her husband, her husband's mom, I believe, and then their 4 kids come over for the holidays, and they don't really get along. The kids and the family are all very different personality wise, and her, they're just kind of, her in-laws are kind of just rude and ungrateful, and it just becomes kind of this big whole thing. So the son in the movie of, the son of the family that's having people over, he pretty much turns his back on Christmas. He's angry. He has a Christmas letter written up to send to Santa Claus, but he rips it up and throws it out the window because he's just had it up to here with his family and doesn't really believe any of his Christmas wishes are going to come true. So he kind of gives up on it, and that essentially unleashes the spirit of Krampus, who is a demonic force that comes around on Christmas to the non-believers and, kind of ruins their lives. So that is kind of how the story unfolds. This was a second time watch for me. Had to watch this for the first time last Christmas at a friend's house, and was looking forward to rewatching it because I enjoyed it. But when you're watching stuff with friends, sometimes you're not paying all that much attention to it like you should. So really wanted to rewatch this one sooner than later, and I really dug it once again. I think I liked it even more because I paid more attention to it. Just the whole family dynamic. It's a little bit over the top maybe, but it's also kind of realistic in a way where family members just don't get along, and a lot of times they just kind of pretend to like each other and put up with each other, unfortunately, around the holidays. In my personal life, I don't really have that problem, thankfully, because I don't have a huge family, but I have seen this stuff kind of play out in real life with, some other friends and stuff like that, people I know that, it would be a little bit more relatable. There are comedic elements to the film, and I think they work really well. Once again, most of the comedy comes with the family kind of clashing and not getting along, and I think it all is incorporated quite well. The movie has some weird turns where things get animated, like there's literally parts to it that are done with animation, and that's probably the thing that I like the least about the film if I have any complaints. I don't like that when a movie just all of a sudden takes a completely weird different turn and becomes super cartoony and just weird. I mean, it's just like, all of a sudden you're watching cartoons, and not even just that, there's actual just animation with like gingerbread men and stuff like that I don't really care for too much personally, but not a major complaint. I know some people enjoy that about the movie. They think it's, gives it charm, and that's fine, but for me it doesn't really work. The look of Krampus is actually really creepy, especially at the end when you get a very good close-up look at him. I think it's just very scary, and the overall atmosphere of the film is really well done as well. Just the snowy setting, it kind of all plays out where a giant snowstorm hits out of nowhere, and there's no power, and everyone suddenly has just like disappeared off the roads, and just very good atmosphere, very creepy. I always say I love that snowy, isolated setting, and even though this family is like in their house and they're in a neighborhood, you still get the feeling of isolation because there's really no one else around that they seem to be finding or seeing. So you get the feeling that they're just like the last people on earth, and I think that's done super effectively in the film. So overall, I think this is a good one. I think it's a good one to rewatch around Christmas time because it just oozes the whole Christmas vibes, especially the whole family aspects to Christmas time, and just the food and all that. Just like I said, pretty realistic, especially if you do have a dysfunctional family like this. So good one for rewatch value around Christmas time, and I give this an 8.5 out of 10. So yes, thank you guys once again for joining me for day number 3 here of my 31 Days of Horror, and as always, I'll see you tomorrow for day number 4.